Let's see if I'm live. All right. I am live on Facebook and on Instagram Live. Good. Everything looks good. Welcome to Deep Dish Football Live. Doing the whole thing a little bit early. I know episodes early, but what do you expect? It's those last 2 weeks where I have to start shooting everything early. So get used to it tomorrow. Next week on For Deep Dish Football Live, it's going to be 4 p.m. So, yeah, it's going to be early again. So, again, just a quick reminder, my name is Peter Lomber, a.k.a. Coach Big Pete of DeepDishFootball.com and Deep Dish Football. Make sure you visit DeepDishFootball.com. Follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. My email is CoachBigPete, FP at gmail.com. FP at gmail.com. That's Coach Big Pete, FP at gmail.com. Again, recruits, make sure I have your information, especially class of 2025. Visit deepdishfootball.com and fill out the Deep Dish Football recruiting questionnaire. Make sure I have your information, please. New watch lists are coming out in January. They're going to be all the watch lists from 2023, 2024, and 2025. The old watch list is still up on deepdishfootball.com. Again, and also just another quick reminder, still doing free recruiting advisement sessions. Have been doing it with parents and recruits. I'm having a wonderful time. It's absolutely free. So if you're interested to schedule a free recruiting appointment, please let me know. My email again is CoachBigPete, FP at gmail.com if you want to schedule a free recruiting appointment. Also, new tonight, a new episode of DuPage Run and Shoot with me and my co-host Patrick the Brain Cotto. We'll be talking a little bit, small bit of DuPage County football, more of Illinois high school football altogether. New episode should be coming out around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, because I'm shooting an early episode with him as well. So just a quick reminder of what's going on, what's going to be, what else is going on, and then we get into the IHSA Semifinals. And we got to get into a Coach Big Pete, two little mini of the rants. Well, first, I'm going to get into, one of the things that I think is absolutely horrible for recruits and kids, and I've been contacted about because there was some parents have seen my videos and said it's completely unfair that a kid that at such a young age is having the spotlight thrown on him, seeing what he does on social media and what he can and cannot say. And I agree. I think social media is an absolute pain in the ass for the common day recruit. I think it absolutely sucks. But you got to understand, there's especially Division I big FBS schools that are throwing a lot of money into that football program. And they want that football program to win, but they also don't want that football program to be a complete PR disaster. That's why you see a lot of college teams hiring private investigators, hiring basically old-ass retired cops to basically trace the kid and see what he does on social media, and what his parents also put on social media. That is becoming a new popular thing. Private investigators, four schools now have become $1 million business now. It has become pure gold that they had, that a school, say a big FBS school, hire 2-3 private investigators, or booster hire private investigators to do their research on a kid, and or parents as well. That's a huge thing too, the searching the parents. I get contacted a lot of times from college coaches to see if the kid's basically a good person on the web, or just a good person all around, or if he's just an absolute jackass. And sometimes you find the jackasses, and you talk to family, you talk to friends. You get a personal feeling, you talk to the coaches, and you can see it also in body language too during game film with some of the kids. So it's becoming $1 million business. Does it suck? Does it suck that these kids with social media, any small little thing can just absolutely ruin just school's chance of offering them? Yes, it absolutely sucks. And like I said, if I graduated high school in 2004, if I were to go to high school and social media, I know a lot of kids, including me, and a lot of high-name recruits in the state of Illinois that would have been arrested. So it sucks for these kids today. Honestly, it really does. And social media does not help. And That's just the way things are. But again, schools now have to protect their assets, and that's their big thing right now. So, yeah, it sucks, but it has to happen. So, but that's about it. And now we get into the private and public school debate. Should there be separate playoffs? Should there be yada, 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 all that other BS that all the private public schools go after each other for? Take it easy, guys, by the way. Again, with me, I think a separate playoff system would absolutely be horrible. I think it's a stupid idea because I think then we would have to go back maybe a decade later, and then combine the playoffs again because I got some big news for you guys. Guys might not know this. It's probably some breaking news. I hate to do this to you guys, but here's the big thing. There's a lot of private schools that are losing money, and they're losing a student population too. There's going to be a lot of private schools closing. They've been closing for the last decades. Crazy, right? It's absolutely crazy. I know. Big breaking news. Parents are starting to stop sending their kids to private schools, private institutions, and that. And they're sending their kids to public schools. Also, churches, especially Christian academic areas and all that, all the churches and that, they're going down in population. I know it's crazy. People don't quite understand it. But, again, there's going to be a lot of schools that we talk about right now. From the past decade, we'll talk about that, but there's schools that have been closing. St. Joseph in Westchester closed. 10 years ago was Driscoll. Driscoll closed. There's going to be more schools closing. Guerin Prep closed. We got 6 schools in the CCL. 6 schools. And I was corrected. By a parent. Thank you to that parent. It's not 7. It's 6 schools in the CCL/ESCC that are in a little bit of trouble with money. And again, that's a big thing for Catholic schools and private schools. You gotta get that money. And if you don't get that money, your school might be closing. So, we can talk about, well, they need separate playoff systems. And there's a couple schools that are doing great with money. They're doing great with their student populations. But that private institutions, they're shorting down on the list. Especially religious institutions, they're going to go down. They're going to continuously go down. That's just the way society is now, people. I'm sorry. So you can talk about private and public, but in a couple decades, you're going to have to merge those guys back together again. So having a private and public individual playoffs doesn't make sense. And we've had private schools lose in the playoffs. We've had a Bishop Mack lose to Wilmington. Was Bishop Mack a really good team this year? Not really. But we've had private schools lose. So, and I know people are saying yes, they can recruit. That absolutely sucks. But don't act like public schools don't recruit either. Don't give me that BS, because public schools do recruit, same as private schools. They can't do it legally because private schools can get away with a lot more than that crap, which I think is absolute bullshit. That's my personal feeling. But it's just, you got to understand, there's so many little factors. Do I think they need to change the multiplier rule? Yes. Is it absolute BS that Montini was a 3A school? Yes. Is it absolute BS that I see they applied to be 3A, but they applied for 3A. They're in 3A now. That they were 2A? Yes, they should have never been a 2A school. Juliet Catholic. Is Juliet Catholic a 4A? Get the hell out of here. So I agree with you guys, especially a lot of public school fans that are a little bit angry with the classifying. I think the multiplier rule has to be changed. That's my personal feeling for the playoffs. All right. So that is it. I will get a lot of emails from private schools getting pissed off. I will get a lot of emails from some Nazareth alumni pissed off at me too. So let's get into the games of the week for the IHSA Semifinals round 4. We are round 4 now for the IHSA semifinals. All right. So we got the big 1A game, Ridgeview Lexington taking on Lena Winslow again. Lena Winslow again is just looking absolute like a dominant team. I think again that loss to Forreston helped them more than it helped more for Lena Winslow to lose to Forreston in regular season than anything else. And this is going to be a very interesting game because a lot of people again are overlooking Ridgeview Lexington. It's going to be a good game. Keep an eye out for it. 1A. Carrollton at Central A&M. Again, Central A&M, I was completely impressed with that. It was a second round game, if I'm not mistaken. It was a second round game. They took on Central Camp Point. Very impressed with the Central NA team and their speed. Carrollton, good defensive line. Very impressive defensive line, by the way. It'll be interesting to see. This is the best game that's tossed up in the wind. We'll see what comes down. Tri-Valley takes on Wilmington. I got no doubt in my mind that Wilmington's going to be favored in this game. Tri-Valley, again, is a tough team. I believe that they have an undefeated record. This should be an interesting game. And again, with Wilmington, against that Bishop Mack team, they stifled them. I was completely surprised at in their ability to run against a tough Bishop Mack team. Big shout out to Wilmington on that one. St. Teresa takes on Nashville. I think St. Teresa is going to be favored into this game. Nashville, they've had a great run, but I just see St. Teresa, the Decatur St. Teresa just being too tough. Bryan taking on IC at IC. And it's going to be, again, the battle of two hard-nosed defenses. And, again, we'll see how Bryan takes care of the IC passing attack and how IC, again, handles that run, that famous run, by the way, Bryan. So we'll see. That'll be a good game. Mount Carmel at Toledo Unity. The big thing will be their defenses. Can they take care of that offense of the Mount Carmel Golden Aces? And, again, there's a... Oh, I forgot the kid's name. He's a freshman or a sophomore. He's a hell of a player. You got to keep an eye out for Mount Carmel Golden Aces. He's a hell of an athlete. I tell you what, I don't know what they're feeding. I do not know what they're feeding them, those kids at Mount Carmel, but literally they have at least 2 to 3 good athletes every year. So that's quite impressive for the Mount Carmel Golden Aces. Julia Catholic takes on Richmond Burden in 4A. Again, Julia Catholic to me, they're just world beaters right now. They're looking really good in 4A. I think the big thing, I don't see a team. I see one team. I honestly see one team that could challenge them, and that's based on their defensive line. I see Sacred Heart Griffin. They could challenge Julia Catholic with their defensive line. But again, that offensive line of Julia Catholic, that's the biggest strength right now, is Julia Catholic's offensive line. And they got a hell of a running back in Jordan Anderson. They got a hell of a second-string running back in Vinny. They got a hell of a third-string running back. They got a hell of a fourth-string running back. They're that damn good, I'm going to tell you right now. And of all the Julia Catholic teams that we can talk about, the big thing, especially when Julia Catholic won a lot of their titles, they had some pretty good quarterbacks on their center, and Aiden Voss is one of those quarterbacks, and it's going to be interesting. But Richmond Burden, the big thing is they're going to be that defensive line. Again, they're hard-nosed. They're just like Julia Catholic. The defensive line's got to get under, penetrate, and close off those gaps against Julia Catholic. That's going to be huge in this game. All right. Sacred Heart Griffin versus Rochester's the last 4A semifinal game. A battle of the Leonard Bowl again, and it's on a Friday, the only Friday semifinal game. Very shocked that this game was on a Friday. But Sacred Heart Griffin takes on Rochester, and Derek Leonard again is looking again to go to that Sweet State title game. Ken Leonard, again, Ty Lott on fire, and that offense on fire at Sacred Heart Griffin. And that they did lose to Rochester in early season. And I'm going to go with that immortal rule that you do not want to see your division rival after you beat them in the regular season. I'm gonna keep following that rule. I know that rule was proven wrong last week, but I've got to give the slightest favor. And I know the Rocket fans are gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me. I'm gonna give the slightest little favor to the Sacred Heart Griffin. I'm gonna give the slightest little favor to the Sacred Heart Griffin Cyclones over Rochester. And that's one of my only picks that I'm going to do because I'm following the old rule. You do not want to see your conference rival again. So, trust me. And even if you beat them too, you don't want to see them. All right. Sycamore versus Fenwick. And we got, again, Fenwick, Caden Cobb threw 3 touchdowns. Reese, Hunt at wide receiver. Offensive lineman, Jimmy Liston, unbelievable offensive lineman for Fenwick. Solid offensive line. Solomon, their DE / edge rusher. Fenwick is just a lot of moving parts there. For Sycamore, again, Eli Meyer, that passing attack. We'll see what happens when they go against that Fenwick defense, and can they stop that Fenwick offense. Morton versus Kankakee. And I know a lot of people are favoring Kankakee in this game. I know a lot of people are saying this is going to be an absolute blowout, but I'm going to say this right now. Do not sleep on the Morton Potters. They have to stop Seth Glantz. If they stop Seth Glantz, the game is over. It's completely over. But the main thing is that they have to stop Seth Glantz, Kankakee. That's the most important thing. They have to stifle that run. And if Morton takes those shots downfield, Kankakee's got to be ready. Simple as that. They have to read that. Lake Forest versus Cary Grove. I like this game. I have this as one of my top 5 games in the state of Illinois. Cary Grove going against with that option offense, taking on a tough Lake Forest team with a good offensive line, by the way. Jahari Scott, their star running back. Good athletes as well. I'm forgetting the DB / wide receiver's name. It's going to kill me. From Lake Forest, it's going to kill me. It's going to kill me right now. I'm trying to figure it out in my mind. I forgot his name. He's a hell of a player. Carr, I think, is his name. Hopefully I got that correct, but he's a hell of a player for Lake Forest High School. Should be an interesting game at 6A. East St. Louis versus Crete-Monee. And a lot of people, again, are having East St. Louis absolutely blowing out Crete-Monee. But wait 1 second. I'm telling you right now, this Crete-Monee team can put numbers up on the board. Griffin is having a hell of a season with Crete-Monee. The big thing, again, is going to be Crete-Monee's secondary and how they deal against that strong passing attack. And can they put pressure on East St. Louis's young quarterback battle? That's going to be a game to watch out for. Brother Rice versus Wheaton North 7A. And again, for Wheaton North, the defensive line, you got to get pressure on Jack Lausch. You have to stop Jack Lausch. You got to stop Jack Lausch. And after that, you got to stop Aaron Vaughn Jr. And he is a hell of a running back, one of the most underrated recruits in the state of Illinois from Brother Rice. And for Wheaton North, again, the big thing, Mark Ferrucci, that offensive line, good defensive line to play as always. And Wheaton North's defense has really had an unbelievable season against a lot of these tough Duquesne teams. They had a great defense against that Willowbrook. It was a smasher against Willowbrook in the quarterfinal. But it's going to be a big game as Brother Rice takes on Wheaton North. Prospect versus St. Rita. Congratulations to Coach DeBuff on a new kid. He takes on now St. Rita in the semifinal. And again, St. Rita, again, is highly favored in this game. And St. Rita, again, big men up front. And for Prospect, they got some big men up front on the offense, too. And again, on the defense, they can't afford any mistakes. They got to read their keys and read their assignments. That's going to be huge against a very tough St. Rita team. And again, they got a great quarterback in St. Rita, 2 small wide receivers. Very short, but they'll kill you with their speed. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough for Prospect. Lockport versus Loyola. This is an interesting game. A lot of people think that Loyola is going to absolutely blow out Lockport. It's going to be 42-0 and all. I'm going to say not so fast. I'm going to say this is going to be a very close game. I believe Loyola, on paper, Loyola is the better team. Yes, no doubt about that. But this Lockport team, don't sleep on them. Hayden Timosek, that offensive line. Gallagher at defensive back / linebacker. And a good defensive line. It's going to be interesting as Lockport takes on the tough Loyola team against Stern. He's unbelievable right now. And we'll see. It should be an interesting game as Loyola takes on Lockport. And the last game, and this is one of my big games too, is Maine South versus Marist. This is one of the very few private school teams that I can see a little bit of a win / upset. I can see Maine South beating Marist. I really can. The big thing is they got to stop Dontrell Jackson against Marist. And again, with that defensive line, they got to take their shots downfield when available. And they can't get fancy. You get fancy, you shoot yourself in the foot. You can't get fancy. And it's one of the big things. All right, so I'm going to answer any questions on the Deep Dish Football Facebook page. Come on. Let's go Wee North. All right. That's one of the comments. Thank you, sir, for watching. Thank you guys for watching this, by the way. Have a great evening. I know this is an early Deep Dish Football Live. Deep Dish Football Live, the season finale is next week. Season finale next week at 4 p.m. I know it's early. I know it's really early, but just you can catch it after if you got work or anything. We'll catch it on the Facebook page and the whole shebang. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. So thank you guys so much for the emails. Thank you guys so much just for watching and being fans of Deep Dish Football and Coach Big Pete. I know you guys like to see this ugly mug every week. So keep an eye out for the episode of Do Page Run Shoot with me and my co-host Patrick Cotto. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, my email is coachbigpete@fp@gmail.com. If you like my work, feel free to leave a tip / donation via PayPal link below in the Facebook page. And I'll put this video also on YouTube too. Still doing free recruiting advisement sessions. If you're interested, send me an email for a meeting with you and your son, or do it for recruit. It's again just absolutely free recruiting advisement, and make sure you fill out the free Deep Dish Football recruiting questionnaire. So I will see you Sunday, 9 a.m. Breakfast with Coach Big Pete on the Coach Big Pete Facebook page. And keep an eye out for Do Page Run Shoot Show and visit deepdishfootball.com. I got the whole week semifinal games of the weekend. Check it out on deepdishfootball.com. Thank you guys so much for joining, and have a lovely evening. All right, Instagram, have a fun time.